a massive supply shock coming to the crypto market, why Ripple's XRP ledger is superior to a lot of the most popular blockchains right now, and then an interesting history lesson about the founding of Ripple and its connections to the Medici family. So this came out just a few hours ago. A $30 billion retirement investment advisor platform green lights for spot Bitcoin ETFs. These big funds, BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and Franklin, are a huge catalyst that have been funding a lot of this Bitcoin price appreciation. All of these Bitcoins they're buying, they're keeping in cold storage wallets, they are locking them up. And you can just think of these Bitcoin ETFs as every day slowly absorbing coins out of the market, and a rising tide raises all ships. I know I'm here to talk about XRP, but it's important we know what's going on with Bitcoin. Speaking of Bitcoin, I don't know if you guys saw all of these, if you're in the US at least, a massive cell phone outage. There's been a lot of speculation on that. But speaking of outages, Avalanche, which is a layer 2 Ethereum solution, it's down right now. It's not producing any blocks. Solana goes down all the time. XRP has done over 2.6 billion transactions to settle real-time, error-free for more than a decade. This is the kind of ledger that big companies and big institutions will want to do their enterprise business on because they can't afford to have errors, and a 10-year track record is something that's very impressive. So interesting little connection here with Ripple and the Medici family. So in 2004, Ryan F. founded Ripple Pay, a decentralized money system after working on a local exchange trading system in Vancouver. Chris Larson and Jed McCaleb renamed it to OpenCoin in 2012. September 2013, OpenCoin rebrands to Ripple Labs, which then became Ripple in 2015. Well, at least that's what we're being told. March 21st, 1991, Ripple Communications was registered, and Ryan F. was a part of it, the original founder of Ripple. Ripple Communications is highly connected to INSA, the Intelligence and National Security Alliance. Susan Wilson, a former vice president of marketing for Ripple, had been the CEO of the Intelligence and National Security Alliance in 2010. Curiously, from September 2010 to October 2012, she was in Ripple Communications. She then leaves Ripple in October 2012, just when Jed McCaleb purchased Ripple.com and Ripple Communications trademark. Ripple Communications then disappears. Ripple Communications owned the domain Ripple.com, and Ryan F. owned RipplePay.com, a Ripple Communications company. Ripple equals Ripple Communications equals INSA. INSA is the Intelligence and National Security Alliance. Now, this is where it gets interesting about this guy, Ryan F. He descends from the F family. I don't want to say this word. You know how YouTube can be. A German family that controlled much of the European economy in the 16th century and accumulated enormous wealth. This banking family replaced the Medici family, who influenced all of Europe during the Renaissance. The F family took over many of the Medici's assets and their political power and influence. They were closely affiliated with the House of Habsburg, whose rise to world power they financed. Jacob F., the rich, was elevated to the nobility of the Holy Roman Empire in May of 1511 and assumed the title Imperial Count of Kirchberg and Weissenhorn in 1514. Today he is considered to be one of the wealthiest people to have ever lived, and many have never even heard of him. With a GDP adjusted net worth of over 400 billion and approximately 2% of the entire GDP of Europe. The F family also minted their own circulating currency, ducats, and owned approximately 1,425 kilograms of gold. The coins minted by the F family contain a phoenix, according to the National Numismatic Collection. The concept of XRP is not something happening by coincidence, but rather an intricately orchestrated revolution spanning generations, meticulously crafted by a lineage of bankers poised to reshape the financial landscape for centuries to come. So interesting speculation here, but what can't be argued is Jacob Fugger, Fugger, his connections to his family in the Medicis and his connections to the founding of Ripple Pay back in 2004. What I want to leave you guys with is a video from the Georgia CBDC chairman. Georgia has partnered with Ripple to work on their CBDC, and they have a Ripple senior vice president talking with the Georgia chairperson. Take a listen.
Ripple, one of the world's leading technology companies, became the technology partner for the National Bank of Georgia's Digital Lari pilot project. The company is a leading cross-border payments network that helps financial institutions integrate blockchain technology and mint digital assets. Ripple's CBDC platform stands out for its ability to provide central banks, financial institutions, and governments with holistic end-to-end solutions. The company is currently conducting 5 pilot programs with different countries, governments, and central banks. Georgi Sakadze sat down with James Wallace, VP of Central Bank Engagements at Ripple, for a follow-up interview on Ripple and BG cooperation and more.
James, Mr. Wallace, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be back in Tbilisi. This is my 3rd visit. Third visit, yes.
So, you see some changes already here. Everything is changing dramatically everywhere, and I think Tbilisi is not the exemption.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's it's a beautiful country, a lot of culture, and I think the economy is moving in the right direction. So, to me, it's a very interesting place to visit for lots of different reasons. So, very happy to be here.
About the National Bank and your relations regarding the digital lari. Let me go the following way. What do you think? Why Ripple was chosen from the National Bank as a partner in this quite ambitious project?
Yeah, well, firstly, we're very excited and proud to have been selected by the National Bank. It was quite a long process. I think we started talking to the team over 2 years ago. So there's been quite a long and thoughtful process. We took the time to really understand what the objectives were of this Digital Lari project. And it's a pilot, so it's
absolutely.
I would call it an advanced experiment on the way towards some real system. So we took some time, and I think ultimately there's probably 2 or 3 reasons why. I think the reasons why we were selected. Firstly is, ultimately we're a technology provider, and we have developed technology specifically for CBDC, using technology based on blockchain. That technology has been actually used for more than 10 years, so it's sort of lower risk from that perspective because it's been used. And then also we, as a company, Ripple is about 11 years old, which is not very old compared to the country of Georgia, but for a fintech, it's fairly well established, and we've been running payment systems globally for 10 years. And then I think there was just a good alignment, culturally. We shared the objectives, and I see the specific details of this project that we have some experience, and hopefully we can demonstrate that with them. So a long answer, but a long process to get here.
But at the same time, can I consider the above-mentioned 2 or 3 reasons why Ripple was chosen by National Bank of Georgia as advantages what Ripple brings to the table to the Central Bank of Georgia?
Yeah, so I think the one is the technology. I mean, at the end of the day, we're the technology partner. So we have proven technology that has been used in 10 or more other countries to do similar sorts of pilots. And then again, I think it's our experience, right? The fact that we took the time to sit down with the bank, understand their objectives, and we put together a comprehensive package. So we're helping them with all aspects of the project. The technology is the center, obviously, but we're bringing our experiences to Georgia, which we're happy with.
Can we a bit evaluate some technical details of the digital lari, some specifications? And you have also mentioned about the blockchain system. My question is, it's going to be integrated, let me say so, on the existing blockchain, or you guys are thinking about some outstanding system in regards of digital lari?
Yeah, it's a great question. So basically, the technology that we're creating for the digital lari is a private blockchain, but it's based on the technology used in the public blockchain. So the public blockchain that we use is called the XRP ledger. It's a publicly available open source blockchain technology. And what we do for each country we're working with, we create a new private version. So you can only use the blockchain if you are permissioned to do so. So we've got, the advantage of that is the XRP ledger technology is proven. It has been processing billions of transactions. But central banks like to have things a little bit more private. So we have created a private version. So it's a little bit of a hybrid to answer your question.
But definitely it's absolutely independent platform, which is specifically performed for each project where you evaluate.
Yes, yeah, exactly right.
At the same time, my next question goes to where do you place digital lari on spectrum between, I don't know, let's say Chinese project or USDT or please?
Yeah, so firstly I would say, if you think about CBDC, there are wider projects I would call the category digital currency. So you mentioned USDT, that's really a stable coin. The Chinese digital yuan is a CBDC. So there's a very, very wide spectrum. If you think about countries where it's a central bank, that's a CBDC. Each country has quite different motivations, so it's difficult to do an exact comparison. I would say Georgia is taking I think a fairly ambitious approach because we have 5 different use cases under consideration. So, if you take some of the countries, they're just doing like one solution, which is replacing cash. With the digital lari, there are...
That's a similarity to replace the cash.
Yeah, it's a digital form of cash. Right, yeah. Exactly. But with this project, I think one of the distinctions about it is there's looking at tokenizing bonds. So retail consumers can get access to bond securities. Looking at tokenizing real estate. There's a payroll element to the pilot. And then there's an offline element. So this is when you have your mobile phone, if you have no internet connection, you can still make purchases. So I would say each country is different, but the thing I like about the project here is it's quite a wide range of use cases.
But at the same time, which country's pilot, Mr. Willis, is most similar or closest to Georgia's pilot project, let me say so? Or they are absolutely unique, each of them?
They're all unique. I would say, obviously there's 1 or 2 countries that have been doing pilots for longer. So in China, the pilot has been in existence longer. Many of the pilots you see in the press and the media are more basic. They're just what I would call a proof of concept as opposed to a pilot. So again, that's one of the things that we were excited about working with the National Bank here is they have a vision to go beyond experimentation. Obviously, you have to prove out the cases as you go, but that I think is a very positive distinction here.
But at the same time, during these 2 years of the piloting digital lari, can we already identify some advantages what digital lari might have or has already?
Yeah. So digital lari, by definition, is digital, right? Now, a lot of payment systems are electronic. So, the difference really with the digital lari is you can do things like instant settlement. So it's not just the digital lari, it's actually the system, the scheme that you put in place as well. So the ledger. So this ledger that will be used allows you to, if I send you, 100 lari, you instantly get the money. So it's the same as if I give you cash. Traditional payment system, if you use a credit card or a check or some other system, there's a delay, right? It can be as many as 3 days. So you have this sort of instant settlement, which is really a big advantage. The other thing I would say is when you have truly digital money like that, you can start to think about different use cases. So if I just the basic use cases for digital CBDC are to replace cash, so we just discussed. The second one is really around interbank settlement, so wholesale payments, so a bank to another bank. But when you think about what the characteristics of the digital currency are, you can do things like what they call DeFi applications. You can do systems like the bond solution we talked about. It allows you to actually innovate and bring lots of new different applications that you can't do with traditional money.
Yeah. At the same time, what are the risks associated with the digital currencies?
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the content, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I do appreciate all the support on the channel. Have a great start to your weekend. Until next time.